It's 3 a.m., and here I am again. The blue light burns my retinas, but I can't stop. One more swipe, one more story about economic collapse, political chaos, climate disasters. My thumb moves with the rhythm of someone scratching a wound that won't heal. And somewhere deep inside, I know this isn't helping me understand the world better. It's destroying my ability to think clearly about it. You know this feeling. That hollow, anxious sensation after an hour of scrolling through humanity's worst moments, condensed into bite-sized horror stories. We tell ourselves we're staying informed, being responsible citizens. But let's be honest, we're chasing something else entirely. We're addicted to our own anxiety. A 2024 study revealed that the average user makes 300 distinct scrolling actions per day, with each action potentially triggering a dopamine response. 300 times. 300 moments where your brain gets a tiny hit of reward chemical, not for discovering something beautiful or meaningful, but for finding another reason to feel afraid. I used to think this was just a bad habit. Then I realized it was rewiring my brain. An August 2024 study of 800 adults published in Computers in Human Behavior Reports reinforces those findings, suggesting doomscrolling evokes greater levels of existential anxiety, a feeling of dread or panic that arises when we confront the limitations of our existence. We're not just consuming bad news, we're training ourselves to expect catastrophe. The algorithm knows us better than we know ourselves. It learned that outrage keeps us engaged longer than hope, that fear is more addictive than love, that showing us the worst of humanity is more profitable than showing us the best. And we let it happen because every scroll feels like we're doing something important, something necessary. But here's what I need you to understand, and why I need you to hit that subscribe button and like this video right now. Not for me, but because this conversation about what's happening to our minds is being deliberately buried under algorithmic noise. The platforms don't want us talking about this, they want us scrolling. And if we don't actively fight to keep these truths visible, they disappear into the void. Your engagement right now is an act of resistance against the very system that's hijacking your attention, because what I'm about to tell you will make you uncomfortable. And uncomfortable truths need protection to survive. Let me tell you what's really happening inside your skull when you doomscroll. As with other addictive behaviors, doomscrolling releases dopamine, a reward brain chemical, whenever we discover new information. So we create a feedback loop in which we seek out negative news, feel anxious, yet momentarily rewarded by new data, then seek more. But here's the cruel irony. Your brain doesn't distinguish between real threats and digital ones. When you see footage of a disaster happening 3,000 miles away, your nervous system responds as if that danger is in your living room. Experts say graphic images, non-stop outrage, and the 24/7 negative news cycle don't just upset us, they alter our stress response and harm mental health. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, fires constantly. Your cortisol levels stay elevated. Your body exists in a perpetual state of fight or flight, but there's nothing to fight and nowhere to run. So you scroll more, seeking resolution to a crisis that can't be resolved through information consumption. This isn't accidental. Social media companies employ teams of neuroscientists and behavioral psychologists to perfect what they call engagement optimization. They study gambling addiction, substance dependency, and compulsive behaviors to make their platforms more irresistible. They've discovered that negative content generates 67% more engagement than positive content. Anger spreads faster than joy. Fear travels further than hope. And it's working. Every notification, like, and comment triggers dopamine, making it harder to stop. Scientists call this delay discounting, which is when you choose the immediate reward, scrolling, over something important, like studying, sleeping, or even hanging out with friends in real life. We're witnessing the emergence of what researchers now call existential anxiety disorder, a condition that didn't exist 20 years ago. People are developing chronic depression, not from their lived experiences, but from constantly consuming other people's traumas through screens. Thank you for staying with me this far. I know this is heavy, but I need you to do something right now. Leave a comment below and tell me, when was the last time you felt truly calm after a scrolling session? Really think about it. And if this video is resonating with you, please subscribe and like it. Not because I'm asking nicely, but because algorithms suppress content that challenges their business model. Your engagement is literally keeping this message alive. Here's what the tech companies don't want you to realize. Because we are overstimulating it, our brain starts to downregulate our own dopamine production and transmission to bring it back to baseline. And that dopamine deficit can result in feelings like depression and anxiety and all the physical effects of depression, like low motivation, low energy. We're not just becoming addicted to bad news, we're becoming neurochemically dependent on artificial stimulation to feel anything at all. The natural rewards of real life, a conversation with a friend, a walk in nature, the satisfaction of completing a task, these things start feeling muted, colorless, insufficient. Your brain, designed to help you survive actual threats in your immediate environment, is being hijacked to worry about every possible threat in every possible environment simultaneously. You're carrying the collective anxiety of 8 billion people in your pocket, and your Stone Age nervous system is trying desperately to process information it was never designed to handle. But here's the philosophical question that haunts me. Are we choosing to be miserable, or has misery been chosen for us? When the most powerful communication tools in human history are deliberately designed to exploit our psychological vulnerabilities for profit, do we really have free will anymore? Upon signing off, the brain is plunged into a dopamine deficit state as it attempts to adapt to the unnaturally high levels of dopamine social media just released, which is why social media often feels good while we're doing it, but horrible as soon as we stop. This creates what I call digital learned helplessness. We know the scrolling makes us feel worse, but we can't stop. We know the information isn't helping us solve problems, but we keep consuming. We know we're being manipulated, but we keep participating in our own manipulation. And the tragic irony, while we're drowning in information about global problems we can't solve, we're becoming increasingly disconnected from local problems we could actually address. We know more about political scandals than our neighbors' names. We're more familiar with international crises than community opportunities. Every moment you spend engaging with this message, instead of mindlessly scrolling, is a small act of rebellion. Share this video, comment below, subscribe. But remember, true resistance means eventually putting the phone down and engaging with the real world again. So here we are, staring into the abyss of our own making. You, me, and millions of others, trapped in digital feedback loops that profit from our pain. But recognition is the first step toward liberation. Experiencing withdrawal symptoms, like cravings or anxiety, is to be expected, as the brain adjusts to lower levels of dopamine. But enduring these uncomfortable feelings allows our brain reward pathways to reboot and stop the cycle of craving and consuming. Your brain is not broken. It's responding exactly as evolution programmed it to respond. The problem isn't your weakness. It's that your ancient survival mechanisms are being weaponized by modern technology designed to extract your attention and sell it to the highest bidder. But here's what gives me hope. Awareness changes everything. The moment you truly understand that your urge to scroll isn't curiosity or concern, it's neurochemical manipulation, you begin to reclaim your agency. You start to see the difference between being informed and being overwhelmed, between engagement and exploitation. The real question isn't whether you can stop doom scrolling entirely. The question is whether you can learn to scroll with intention, instead of compulsion. Whether you can choose when to engage with the world's problems and when to protect your mental space for solutions, creativity, and joy. This isn't about digital detox or technological purity. It's about recognizing that your attention is the most valuable resource you possess. And right now, it's being stolen from you by systems designed to keep you anxious, angry, and endlessly consuming. The companies profiting from your doom scrolling will never solve this problem for you. The algorithms will never spontaneously start promoting peace of mind over engagement metrics. Change has to come from you, from us, from people who decide that their mental health is worth more than advertising revenue. So I'm going to leave you with this question, and I need you to answer it honestly in the comments below. What would you do with your life if you weren't spending hours each day consuming other people's anxiety? What problems would you solve? What relationships would you nurture? What dreams would you pursue? Before you answer, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because the only way we break free from systems designed to control us is by actively supporting conversations that empower us. Now, what's your answer?